We are standing in Moscow, Russia, in a museum, the Gazprom Museum, and apparently I am the first American to ever see the inside of this place. And so this would show the Soviet Union where America's doing their oil work. Welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American. Come with us right now and see, is Russia just a gas station or is it something more?
If you combine all the pipes that Gazprom owns, it's going to be 4 times around the Earth.
We rolling? Honey, what is this? Is Russia a scary place?
What's this weird thing, honey? Do you know?
I have no idea. And who presented the medal to him?
President Putin did.
Do you look like Gazprom employees?
Gazprom man. So there it says General Electric.
Yep. Wow.
Whoa.
It's like a
What is
space.
that? Door to what?
I don't know.
It's interesting, our lives are improved with this. Every day, we don't think about it. We don't think about how difficult it is to do all this. We don't think about how dangerous it could possibly be. There is a mean joke in the West about Russia that Russia is just a gas station. What is the West trying to insinuate with this joke? Sveta had to get like 8 different signatures from different people for me to come into this building. They even wanted to know what model camera I'm using and what model shirt mic that I'm using. And so now we're going to take you through the exhibit and show you what they have to offer here. Let's go, guys.
Okay, so it looks like when they were first building these pipes, it was actually during World War II, and whenever they would go through every city, because this is a long pipe that stretches for miles, and of course there's going to be little towns, and they said, okay, now all the people in your town have to dig a trench here that's going to be like 7-8 feet deep, and then you're done.
Wow.
So this is what this picture illustrates here. It's women that are...
So everyone pitched in and dug the piece that went through their city.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Because what else could you do back then?
Yeah,
Because all the
yeah,
men
yeah.
were in the war, fighting.
And it was during the war that they decided to switch to oil and gas, because they had artificial gas before then, but then they had this need to switch to natural gas because artificial just wasn't sustainable. So Russia went to the US and bought 24 pieces of oil equipment.
Если все эти трубы соединить в единую линию, получится 20 газомоторного компрессора фирмы Cooper Bessemer образца 1945 года.
So this is the specifications for the Cooper Bessemer equipment made by them.
Wow.
And it's in Russian it's called technical passport, but it's like the specifications of the piece of equipment that's just outside that we'll go see.
1945, when it was done.
They bought that equipment for the first construction of the gas industry. They have a working one of these outside. It still works till now. Какой там вес?
65.
And it's 65 tons. It's made the journey from over the Atlantic Ocean into where it is now.
Потом можно сказать, что в Газпроме всего 180 тысяч.
We are with the director of this museum, and just so you know, he is legit. This medal right here, this is his medal.
It was given to him for hard work and industrialness in the oil and gas
And
industry.
who presented the medal to him?
President Putin did.
Fantastic. So ask him, what is Gazprom?
Что такое Газпром?
Газпром – это жизнь.
He says
Моя.
Газпром is life, it's his life.
48 лет проработал в «Газпроме».
So he has worked in Gazprom for 48 years of his life.
И все, что я имею в жизни, все мне дал «Газпром».
And everything he has in his life, he's been given by this company.
Here's the door.
This is a model of a gas compressing station, which is the main part of a gas transportation system. Gas gets cleaned and then compressed and cooled.
Этот фрагмент трубы газопровода Москва, он дал
So he says oil pipes, they're not just somewhere on the street in a comfortable place. They have to be laid in swamps and uncomfortable places that are dangerous and uncomfortable for human life. So it's a tough job.
футбольных полях, а у них же стандартные поля.
Американские. This thing gets put down the pipe and it travels down the length of an oil pipe, and with these different things all over it, with these sensors, it is able to relay back the exact, just information about the pipe, of defects and everything that could be going wrong.
То есть это очень важная деталь.
И уже знаем, расшифровывая информацию, где копать, какие дефекты.
This thing can travel down, basically, it can travel in any medium, so oil, gas, pretty much anything. And when they take it out, they get all the data from it, and they're able to then use that information to fix whatever they need to in the pipe.
Is there an American company that we could compare Gazprom to?
Ну, почему бы и нет? Наверное, есть. Но я не очень знаю американские компании. Я бывал 2 раза только в Америке, но очень давно. И тоже по командировкам из «Газпрома». Даже название сейчас уже забыл этих компаний, но, скорее всего, таких крупных компаний, как «Газпром», ну, вряд ли.
So, of course, there's oil and gas companies in the U.S., but they're not nearly as large as Gazprom.
Okay. Wow. So Gazprom's the biggest.
Просто старых...
This is a pipe from 1945. Well, it's not. I mean,
It's the
it's still
first
here, but it's from the first gas pipe that was laid in Russia. So this is a fragment on it. It's no longer being used, and what's inside is what is called hydrates. It's a mixture of different gases and elements that forms because of the temperatures and pressures. To solve this problem is they actually pour just pure alcohol down the pipe, and it dissolves this. And this isn't the only problem they have in pipes. They also have blocks of ice, and pouring alcohol down, solving it with just pure alcohol actually helps solve both problems.
They found it out in 1946.
So this is a model of the biggest oil and gas measurement complex in all of Europe, and it's the only one in the world that is on land. This is a visual representation of a gas control station where they basically decide where everything goes.
The
Gas.
biggest gas tanker where they have the gas in Europe.
12 billion cubic meters of gas underneath that whole complex.
And it's partly government owned, partly private.
Частично частная компания и государственная тоже, да?
Ну, 51% акций имеет государство.
So it's 51% of the company is owned by the government, which means they get to
А все
control it.
остальное работники «Газпрома».
And then the rest,
Акции.
49, is employees of Gazprom.
Wow. It sounds like he has done a lot of work to make Moscow and Russia what it is today.
Похоже, что вы вложили довольно большую работу и труд, чтобы сделать Москву такой, как она сейчас есть в плане энергетики.
Так это только один объект.
This is a map of the gas pipes that this company is responsible for. So this is the Moscow region one. There's 17 other daughter companies of Gazprom that's responsible for piping in other regions. But this is just the Moscow one, the Moscow region, and in this region, it's 25% of the Russian population lives here, so it's quite important. And apparently, the combined length of all these pipes goes about halfway around the equator.
Виталий, а иностранцев вообще в «Газпром» не принимают на работу? Потому что мне кто-то сказал, что все-таки берут.
He says that when he first started working, the first oil pipe that was from Moscow to another city, and he's been working at the company ever since and never quit. And he retired in 2012, and he's still working for this company, but just in a different format now as the director of this museum.
Wow. Wow. There is a mean joke in the West about Russia that Russia is just a gas station. What is the West trying to insinuate with this joke?
All right, so as you can see, this hall doesn't really have any glass in it. Nothing's covered because this is for more hands-on things. And this right here is an illustration of the whole process of how oil and gas gets from the ground into powering people's homes and heating their homes. So if you go ahead and press these buttons, they take you through the way of, these are the oil pumps, and then into the place that cleans the oil, compresses it, and basically regulates whatever needs to be regulated, and all the way to what is it? The main, where most of the gas goes is a station that turns it from, you know, just oil into electricity and heat, which goes to people's homes, factories, and many other places. All right, so this is an illustration of how the gas cleaning process works. So the gas rises up through here, and it gets rotated around. Of course, that's not gas, it's little plastic balls. So after the gas has been cleaned, it needs to be compressed. Why does it need to be compressed? To raise the pressure to have it travel through the pipe. If it's just sitting there, it's not going to happen. And these things can be powered by either these compressors by electricity or by the same oil that they're compressing.
Возразить. Мы, газовики, мы эту шутку пропускаем мимо ушей и считаем, что мы просто работаем. Вообще, сама работа очень интересная. То, что сегодня творится, я считаю, что мы продавали свою нефть и свой газ по достойной цене. Мы не думаем об этой политических этих лозунгах. Мы просто работаем. И подаем газ и тепло народу нашему. И не только нашему. Я до сих пор удивлен с подрывом этих наших северного потока. Кому это нужно было? Не знаю. И попытках подорвать другие направления. И уменьшение резко подачи газа в Европу. И подача газа через Турцию теперь, Болгарию и дальше, значит. Этот же газ идет тоже в Германию. То есть не через нас. И, конечно, гораздо дороже. Цена газа, я считаю, достойная у нас. Мы горды, газовики горды тем, что мы даем тепло людям.
He's heard this joke before, and him and his colleagues tried to ignore it, because this is another sort of animation they've made to demonstrate the journey that gas makes from the pump here into people's homes. So it goes underwater, under land, into compressing and cleaning stations, and here it goes underground, it seems like, and the big pipes are never actually near any populated areas because it's a lot of pressure, and that causes a hazard. If it explodes, that would be really bad. So just kind of more how the pipes travel and the gas, and then here is how it gets into a person's home, which I guess is just not something people think about very often, the journey that gas has to take. So this is actually a tap. It's quite small, but it controls the flow of oil and gas. And it's made of a ball joint, it seems like right here, and if you spin it, so that is in the open position, you can see you can have liquid flow through it. Before the 60s, all of them were like this. Now we have technologies like you can see there, where they use hydraulic systems to actually close pipes. In case of emergencies or anything, they need, companies like this need to have the opportunity to shut down gas or control the flow. And of course they need communication systems for that. Of course it's a huge country, lots of pipes, big complicated system. So they need to have good communication. This is an example of what they might use to do
Cool.
that.
Satellite dish, it looks like.
Yes. He's glad to have the opportunity to live in a country that's able to provide not just energy, not just to themselves, but to other countries as well for a fair price. And he thinks that Russia's been able to take advantage of their oil reserves and be able to sell them for a fair price to power other countries is a good thing, and not something they should be ashamed of.
Right.
And it's something that him and his colleagues are proud of, something that they've put their life work into.
Right.
So that is a model of the biggest pipe you can possibly have, and this is 1 meter 40 centimeters.
Aha, so this
Yeah.
is the correct sizing.
This
for
is the correct
largest
size.
gas
And
pipe
yes,
there
and on
is.
top of that, that pipe is also the actual size.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
actual size of this construction.
Wow, okay. So it's big.
You can walk back. So this was a project in the USSR. They were thinking to build this size of a pipe, but they dropped this idea because it wasn't that safe. For instance, if it's explored, so it will be really, a big explosion. Also, there wasn't, back then, they didn't have enough of equipment to put this big pipe under the ground. So they dropped this idea, but it used to be an idea in the USSR.
Oil and gas in its nature does not have any sort of smell. So that's not a very good thing. In case there's like a gas leak, you need to know that it's happening. And if it's odorless, that's kind of not that great. So what they do is they add this odor, does not smell very great, into the gas. So when there's a leak, you know. And in the US, it's a different smell. So if you know that smell of gas, it's not because it smells bad, they add stuff to it to let you know that something bad is happening, because usually you wouldn't know unless they added an odor to it, which would warn people.
Sveta, which one's your favorite?
This smells like vanilla. You want to smell it?
Well, I'm not a mic, but sure, I'll smell it.
This is terrible. This is why, when you know that it leaks, you don't want to smell it.
Alex, which one do you prefer?
This one's fine.
Okay.
This protects you from the sparks and the metal sparks
Костюм
also.
сварщика.
А
А
вот
вот
эти
эти
вот,
вот
перчатки
перчатки защищают электриков от высокого напряжения.
This is
вплоть
from
до 1000 ватт.
electricity, protects you from electricity, that it won't kill you.
Вот. Еще в «Газпроме» есть свои собственные пожарные подразделения.
This is the special fire organization in Gazprom, inside of the organization.
Oh,
They have
wow.
a department of
Firefighters?
firefighters.
И
Yeah.
вообще
Throughout the process, there need to be checks done to check for micro cracks and things like that, so there isn't some sort of explosion or something doesn't go bad later. As far as those cracks forming bigger ones, and then later on that being a problem. So these are pieces of equipment to measure and analyze and monitor while it's being built and afterwards. So he says that actually there's bad people everywhere, but he thinks in each country there's far more good people than there are bad people. This is like a simulation thing of something, like a worker doing work on oil equipment and pipes with a tractor.
А вам нужно доехать до трубы. Такая вот полоска темная, она перед вами. Вот.
So I need to get to this place without crashing into a pipe, or else things are going to explode. And this seat is shaking under me, so it's quite an effective simulation.
Very good. And so this is the track you got to get through without
Yes.
blowing up, basically.
I think I want to blow something up, so
Careful. Your future employers might be watching this.
Куда мне?
Oh!
Honey, it will be the map of 1942.
Besides the experiments and some modern things in this museum, they actually have some unique and original things in this museum. And this is the copy of the original map from 1942. So it's an
Wow.
American map, and Soviet spies just stole it. I'm just kidding. So yeah, this is the actual map with actual, places in the U.S. when there was
So this is where you
oil
lived,
industry.
darling.
I was living there for a while.
Well, perhaps this is said because he did such a good job with Gazprom, and that's not a joke.
This is a tap bought from America in 1945, Chapman steel, and it was used on the first pipe that was built from Moscow to that other city.
1945.
Yeah.
Is this part of the Lend-Lease agreement?
It is part of the Lend-Lease agreement. And that pipe we saw on the inside with the white residue in it, this belonged to the same pipe system.
Oh, so they were connected.
Yes,
Wow.
at some point, not directly to each other, but
Yeah,
it was,
part of the same.
yes, system.
This is a piece of equipment that is necessary to make electricity out of the gas on the stations that actually turn gas into electricity and heat. So this is some sort of conversion equipment.
So this is also a piece of American equipment
Yes, it
from
is.
the past.
Yes, and this information.
So what is this, Alex?
So this is from the same exact pipe system that we were talking about earlier. This was dug up from the ground. It was about 8 feet underground. This was manufactured in 1944 in the U.S. So another part of the Lend-Lease Act, and this stuff right here that does not look very tasty or good in any way. It's not great looking. This is actually isolation that they used to use for the pipe.
Wow.
This is a huge internal combustion engine. So it's like the same system as in a car. You can see that these are pistons, I'm assuming, what it looks like in a car. And what it does is gas runs through it, and it makes electricity or makes something rotate, which later makes electricity.
Right.
And this is also an American-made piece of equipment, and it is still working. This is the piece of equipment we were talking about earlier that we saw the documentation for.
Cool. This is rare.
Так как
It's only
Джо,
exemplars.
он американец,
Joe is an
поэтому мы
American.
ему вручим обратно,
That's why
чтобы он
I'll give you
отвез в
back,
Америку
that you will bring it back
вот
to
этот
the US,
кусочек
this piece of,
газопровода Саратов-Москва,
gas pipe, Saratov, Moscow.
который вот этот кусочек сделан действительно из той трубы,
This
которую
piece was made
по договору
exactly of
Ленд-Лиз
this pipe with
Америка
the Lend-Lease
поставила
agreement.
нам в
America
1945
gave
году
it to Russia in
для
1945
строительства
for
первого
building of the
газопровода
first
Саратов-Москва.
gas pipe Saratov, Moscow in our country.
So the American land-lease pipe
Байдену
was turned into
передайте.
this.
Yes.
И спасибо
Fantastic.
ему скажите,
Say,
спасибо.
thank
Он
you
тогда жил
to
же тоже еще.
Biden, because he was alive back then.
Wow. Очень
И для
спасибо.
того, чтобы знать нашу историю,
And for
нашего
you to
большого
know the history
Газпрома,
of our Gazprom
которая,
industry,
в общем-то, похожа на историю нашего предприятия, потому что
which is
мы
close to the history of our
первенцы
company,
газовой
because
промышленности
we
в
were the first
Газпроме.
in the
Мы
gas
первые
industry. We're the
построили
first
газопровод
we built the first gas
и подали
pipe,
газ в Москву. Я вам подарю вот
transfer
этот
it
вот,
to Moscow.
вот эту вот
I'll
книгу
give you this book, you can
«Этапы
Вау.
большого пути» о нашем предприятии.
yeah,
Wow.
the steps of a big way. Historical facts. of
И
this book.
да.
Well, tell them спасибо большое. It's definitely an honor.
Он сказал, что для меня это честь. Спасибо вам огромное. What's this, honey? What are you trying on?
It's my Gazprom jacket.
Can you turn around?
All right, guys, what'd you think of this place? Was it interesting? Had you ever seen this before? Click like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, interrupt my speech right now, and hit the share button, send this to your friends, and let the world know, what is Russia really like? What is Russian gas like? Is Russia just a gas station? Leave a comment and tell us what you think right now. Go. Tell them what I said.
What do you say? Right here is like so.
I totally covered that up with my fingers.
Myself, my Russian wife, and her half Russian, half American son.
Sorry, what do you want to say? Or do you want me to
What is this thing, Alex?
This thing?
Can you imagine how big this thing is? Obviously you can, because we said it was 1945.
We did, yes.
And
And here is your helmet.
my Gazprom helmet. Like that. No, that's not how it goes.
To open and close a steel pipe, an oil pipe, steel pipe. It's made out of steel. It's not closed. Anyway, it was,
Okay, so I don't know if to start. It's too fast and intense. All right.
Давай, Алекс, давай, давай.
They so.
Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alex, say something.
Hello. Yes.
Look at the camera and say it.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Is it long?
Я Светлана.
Yeah.
А,
All right, stop it.
so we had to film through the pipe.
I don't see you.
You're not that smart.
So, darling, what's this? I'm
I
getting a little
think when
tired.
you are tired, you can lay down and relax.
So
It's
this
for
is
the
for-
visitors of the museum, you see? Oh, nice.
Not for the Russian scientists, but for the visitors.
For the visitors. Maybe for the Russian scientists as well, if they visit this museum.
Oh, wow. There's a TV screen.
Да.
Okay, so Russia actually.
I'm the boss.
Go ahead, yeah.
So this says gaz in Russian, по-русски. And what is this, Alex?
Well, gas means gas. Someone with at least a few working neurons might be able to, that wasn't very nice to insult your viewers, but
What? I didn't insult the viewers.
I did. I said I insulted.
Oh, okay.
Okay, whatever. So 24 of these.
Gas.
24 of these
Are
were
your
bought.
fingers covering the camera?
Нет, но мне холодно. Я не
24
могу
of these
больше.
were bought by Russia. 3 of these would be at a plant working. There'd be one extra for just in case.
Oh wow, in case it broke down.